So we're now learning of a private meeting held earlier this week between Trump and CEOs of companies including Walmart, Target, and Home Depot, in which the executives warned Trump that his tariffs would disrupt supply chains and lead to empty shelves in the coming weeks. The CEOs told Trump that prices were about to skyrocket and shelves would start looking empty within just weeks. The companies have publicly warned Trump before that his tariffs would cause problems, but this private meeting was a major escalation to show Trump how serious they are about the effects of his policies. Apparently, the meeting instilled fear in Trump, which resulted in his shifting language regarding tariffs over the past few days, which is now only causing more confusion. We're going to continue to follow what's going on here and so much more, so make sure you're following our...
Could American store shelves be empty in the next 2 weeks because of Trump's tariffs? That's the warning Trump got this week from the CEOs of Walmart, Target, and Home Depot, three of America's largest box stores, telling him that prices have not gone up yet because of his tariffs, but they would soon, and that within a period of only 2 weeks, we could start to see empty shelves in stores because of the disruptions caused by Trump's tariffs. That warning and the fact that the stock market again collapsed on Monday this week, at the same time the bond market collapsed and the dollar collapsed, finally convinced Trump that maybe destroying the U.S. economy wasn't the best way to save the U.S. economy. That's why he caved on tariffs to China this week. Now, he's caved halfway. Trump has suggested that maybe he'll eliminate half the tariffs on China, which would still leave 70% tariffs, which is an insane quantity that shuts down all trade. But he sort of threw that out there because he's freaking out, and he thinks he may have caused too much pain to the American consumers. In the end, Trump's tariffs are increasing inflation. They're increasing unemployment. They're starting to slow economic growth, which is risking a recession. None of this is what people voted for. We voted for him to get inflation.
The family. The family matter.
All right, Shalom. Shalom. I want to give all praises, glory, honor, and power that's due to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shah, Bahashim Kakadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles at Great Millstone, those who rule well and who learned this truth from. Salutation to the brothers stiffly pushing this one truth in all sincerity and diligence, risking both your lives and freedoms to do so. Shalom to the rest of the elect as we all await the second Exodus coming quickly by the hands of Lord Yahweh Shah. This is your brother Rakaga Bar. All right, and as you can see, all right, they're now warning, okay, top CEOs, all right, these companies, major companies are now warning Trump that these tariffs, you know, this trade war, all right, will lead to empty shelves in a matter of weeks. Okay, in a matter of weeks, all right, they're saying that these shelves, you know, could be empty if, you know, something's not done regarding these tariffs, man. And I believe in the last video, he tried to say that, you know, he tried to soften the blow, you know, whatever the case may be. But, you know, we know according to scriptures, Babylon can't be healed. You know what I'm saying? And I said that, in, you know, I mentioned that in the previous lesson. You know, they do these particular things. You know, he may put 250% tariffs on China and then rescind, you know, part of it, or he may put tariffs on everybody else and then pause it for 90 days. Really, it's a back and forth game, man. Them kicking the can down the road, but we understand by design that these elites, all right, they want a crash. They want this economy to crash, man. All right, in order for this new system to be established, all right, before you can, you know, update it, you know, update the system, have a new system in place, you got to reset it. You know, you got to reset the current one, you know, and that's what we're living through right now, man. Okay, and this is the same reason why Klaus Schwab, all right, which was the pretty much the head of the WEF, you know what I'm saying? He stepped down, okay, just recently, man. Why did he just step down all of a sudden, man? Because, hey, something major is about to happen, man. You know, so now they're warning that these shelves.
So we're now learning.
Could be empty very, very soon, because we know with the tariffs, all right, it's gonna cause you know, less goods to be imported, meaning whatever remains, yeah, it's gonna be scarce in value. It's gonna be scarce in quantity, which also means the value is gonna skyrocket, man. See, and they're saying this could be in a matter of a couple weeks, man. You know, now we know how these devils operate. Once again, they try to kick the can down the road, but we're in that time, man, to where, you know, these things are being fulfilled, okay? And these devils realize they don't have time to keep prolonging this thing, man. All right, and I was watching one of the brothers' lesson. You know, he went into the fact that, you know, with the Klaus Schwab stepping down, You know, these elites are divided internally. You know, they're battling internally, man, because this whole kingdom is divided right now. You know, of course, these elites, they essentially want the same agenda, all right, which is to put that damn chip in you people, all right, but really, they're divided. Hey, they may be divided on the rate at which it's happening. You know, they might be like, oh, shit ain't going quick enough or whatever the case may be. So they're divided, man. You know, that's why this place is crashing, man, because a house divided can't stand. All right, so that's from the top to the bottom. Okay, this is 2nd Ezra 6 and 22. All right, 2nd Ezra 6 and 22, it says, and suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown, the full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty. And, you know, say this thing does occur in a matter of a couple weeks, which I'm not saying it is. All right, Lord's will it do. Okay, Lord's will they don't try to slap Band-Aids and Trump, you know, rescinds on part of the tariffs and tries to soften the blow, which I believe with his pride, you know what I'm saying? And I believe that ultimately, because it's ordained by the Heavenly Father, you know, that this dude is that terrible king that's making this shit come to pass, man. Matter of fact, let's grab this real quick. You know, I believe he's that guy, okay? Lord's will. Okay, this is Proverbs 21 and 1. It says, the king's heart is in the hand of Yahweh. As the rivers of water, he turneth it whithersoever he will. All right. Because the Most High is controlling the script, man. Now, we know his determination against this place is for it to be destroyed, which is why I mentioned scriptures, you know, that said Babylon cannot be healed, man. So the Most High's determination, all right, is to increase the plagues on this place, to increase the intensity, you know. And this is why scriptures speak about, you know, the day of the Lord happening like a thief in the night, because, you know, if this shit suddenly happens, man, you people not ready for that. You know what I'm saying? Us in the truth, in the know, yeah, we've been waiting on this for you know, however long brother's been in the truth, man. You know, we've been waiting for this day, man. You know, patiently waiting, building up our faith, you know, our trust in Yahweh Bashim Yahshua, so that when it do happen, we ain't gonna be shaken by it, man. You people are, because your ass gonna be caught like a thief in the night, like a fucking deer in the headlight, man. You gonna be looking to get that stupid look on your face, okay? But that's how the Lord wanted, man, because you people are being bullshitting. As far as you Israelites, man, you been bullshitting, man. All right, so when this shit suddenly occurs, all right, you won't be able to, you'll barely be able to think about what your next move is gonna be, man. It's just gonna be like that, okay? It said, the king's heart is in the hand of Yahweh, as the rivers of water, he turneth it whithersoever he will. And, you know, scriptures say, what does he plan to do with the king of Babylon, man? Well, let's grab it. Okay, the king of Babylon is going to be a terrible, cruel lord to this place. Okay, Isaiah 19 and 4, it says, and the Egyptians, all right, Egypt, this is modern Egypt, Babylon. It says, will I give over into the hand of a cruel lord, and a fierce king shall rule over them, saith the Lord, Yahweh of hosts. See, so this fierce king, okay, that's going to be ruling over Babylon the Great, America in these times, is going to be a cruel lord, man. And look at Trump. You know, I believe he's that guy. You know what I'm saying? Trump and his whole administration, you know, Elon Musk, weird ass, you know, which he's all for the brain chip. Okay, this is not a coincidence, man. You know, certain figures in place at this exact time, all right, in history that are bringing this shit to pass, man. You know, when was the last time you had a fucking president over here that was putting tariffs on the whole world, including their allies, man? Speaking as proud as this dude is, man. You know, all right, and as far as these tariffs, he already said that he knows that it's going to affect and it's going to pretty much hurt you Americans, man. You know, pretty much like you're going to have to deal with it. See, so not only are you going to be dealing with inflation, hyperinflation, you know what I'm saying? You're going to be dealing with a shortage, a scarcity of food. You know what I'm saying? And it's going to suddenly come upon this place, man. Okay. And the waters shall fail from the sea, and the rivers shall be wasted and dried up. You know, droughts. you know, mega droughts. All right. I've been the West Coast has been, getting smacked by droughts for the longest, man. All right. It says, and they shall turn the rivers far away, and the brooks of defense shall be empty and dried up. The reeds and flags shall wither. So that's going into what's coming to the crops, the food, man. Food and water is going to be scarce to come across, man. Okay, this is the Most High, what he determines to do with the king of this place, man. The paper reads by the brooks, by the mouth of the brooks, and everything sown by the brooks shall wither, be driven away, and be no more. So yeah, you people about to be fighting for food, man, fighting for survival. It says the fishers also shall mourn, and all they that cast angle into the brook shall lament, and they that spread nets upon the water shall languish. And they're doing that also too. They were doing that heavy too because you had the farmers, especially over there in Europe, that were protesting against their government. Same thing over here. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man. It says, well, that's really it. That's really what I want to grab from that. It says, the fishers also shall mourn, and all they that cast angle into the brook shall lament, and they that spread nets upon the water shall languish. Why? Because the food sources, all right, are being plagued. Okay, and there's many ways the Most High plagues these things, man. Turn the rivers blood red. How the life in the sea just die. All right, the tariffs, the trade wars. Okay, that causes a shortage of goods flowing into this place, which will jack up the prices. Okay, which will make you people bug the hell out and start killing each other over a loaf of bread. See, yeah, man. Hey, this is the end of this place. Okay, and it's beautiful to see this place falling, man. So empty shells mean people are going to start pulling money from banks, and we saw what that does. Yeah, and then that's another thing. You people are going to try to run to the banks, but due to fractional reserve banking, they only got a certain amount on hand. You people ain't going to be able to. You want your money out the banks, you get that shit now. You should have really started getting it out whenever them bank outages and shit was occurring heavy over the last couple years, man. All right, cause yeah, this shit's about to collapse. This shit's about to crash, man. All right, back to 2nd Ezra 22, 6 and 22. It says, in Salakia, 2nd Ezra 6. All right, give me one moment. It's just Satan. It's just Satan messing with the. Yeah, man, this shit is we're here, we're in them times, man. Okay. All right. All right, it says, and suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown, the full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty. And the trumpet shall give a sound, which when every man heareth, they shall be suddenly afraid. Okay, and that trumpet really goes into the warning of the prophets. Okay, but also the warning you get from these devils on the left-hand side. Guys like this is a warning. Preppers. Warning you to prep, get ready. World War III is coming. Collapse is coming. The fucking what's that shit called? The emergency broadcast system going off. That damn purge siren. They all goes into the warning, man. That, in these times people are going to be afraid because they don't know what the fuck is going on, man. Okay. It says, at that time shall friends fight one against another like enemies. See, and the earth shall stand in fear with those that dwell therein. The springs of the fountain shall stand still, and in 3 hours they shall not run. Okay, which that could represent the truth, as well as the literal waters, man. Okay, but this word is likened unto living waters. Okay. But yeah, friends are going to fight each other like enemies because of the lack of bread and great tribulation, man. It says, whosoever remaineth from all these that I have told thee shall escape and see my salvation and the end of your world. And that's the point. What we're witnessing right now is the end of this age. Okay? And so famine, plagues, pestilence, war, diseases, chaos to the lights you've never seen before, grape, you know what I'm saying? All right. This is about to be the norm, man. And you people ain't got too much longer to be warned. This is why suddenness is constantly reiterated in scriptures, man. Okay, but anyways, that's the point on that. I'm going to close out and give all praises to Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shah Bashim Rakakadash, DTA Wah Baba Ball, Shalom.